Right. Now, amid the ongoing power tussle between Chief Minister Captain Amarinder Singh and Punjab Congress Chief Navjot Sidhu, the Congress party has called for a legislature party meeting at the party's headquarters in Chandigarh at 5 p.m. today. Ahead of that meeting, Captain Amarinder Singh has called for a meeting of his loyal MLAs at his residence at 2 p.m. this afternoon. That is the breaking piece of information that is coming in right now. Captain has in fact called for a meeting at his residence at 2 p.m. today of his loyal MLAs. And there is, of course, more information that's coming in on this Captain and Sidhu tussle. Captain Amarinder Singh, our sources tell us, has in fact reached out to Congress President Sonia Gandhi and informed her that he may step down if he's sidelined in the manner that he claims to have been. Remember, he is the leader of the Congress Legislative Party meeting, but he didn't call for the meeting. It is the AICC, which is the All India Congress Committee, which has called for the meeting of the Legislature Party at 5 p.m. today. He, of course, has said that he feels humiliated and he's upset over the meeting which has been called today, and has informed Sonia Gandhi that he may step down if he is sidelined in this manner. Now, that's a big piece of information that's coming in right now. My colleague Anand Patel is joining me live on this story. Anand, heated developments that are taking place right now in Punjab. Captain Amarinder Singh has in fact dialed Sonia Gandhi and told her that if he continues to be humiliated and sidelined in the way that he has been in the CLP meeting being called without him calling for it, considering he's the leader of the CLP, today the meeting has been called at 5 p.m. He feels quite humiliated and he will step down if he continues to be sidelined in this manner.
Well, yes, Paulmi, this is a complete lack of confidence in Captain Amarinder Singh as far as the High Command is concerned. And that is the reason why Captain Amarinder Singh is the CLP leader. He is the Chief Minister and he is the one who has the right to call a CLP meeting, if at all. But in this case, it's the High Command which has summoned all the MLAs, and CLP is being held at 5 o'clock in Chandigarh. This was announced by party's Punjab Affairs in charge, Harish Rawat, seconded by the State President Navjot Singh Sidhu. So clearly, complete lack of confidence in Captain Amarinder Singh's leadership by the party high command, and that is the reason why our sources are telling us that Captain has told Congress President that if there is lack of confidence, then he is willing to step down. So this is what we've been saying since morning, that our sources has told us that the high command wants Captain Amarinder Singh to step down respectfully. Because this will avoid any ugly scene in the CLP meeting, because it is going to be a thunderous one, no doubt about it. As we've already reported that Captain Amarinder Singh has called a meeting of his loyal MLAs at his residence at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, ahead of the all-important CLP at 5. So clearly, a lot of heated exchange of words are likely to take place in this CLP meeting, and that's the reason why, to avoid any such ugly situation, you might, hear some news just after Chief Minister's meeting with his loyal MLA. So, Congress party is, High Command is keeping a close watch, Paulmi, I'm told, and this has been precipitated as the internal strife had taken, a very serious turn after some of the MLAs had come and met Harish Rawat in Dehradun, and then they were camping in Delhi. They have alleged that there was a witch hunt being carried out by Captain Loyalist at his behest, and that is the reason why the MLAs want a change of Chief Minister in the state ahead of the assembly polls. Clearly, the Congress Party High Command also fears that the BJP might take an advantage of the situation and may misuse the situation to impose a president rule, which will be very, very against the interests of the Congress Party. A state where it feels that it has a chance to come back to power in 2022, next year, when the assembly polls are held. So clearly, keeping all the permutation and combination in mind, the party high command has summoned this all-important CLP meet, where you might see a change of face as far as the Chief Minister is concerned for the Congress party in the state in the run-up to the assembly polls.
Right. Anand, you say that the Congress party is trying to avoid an ugly situation, but is that going to be possible given that it appears that Captain is not going to go out without putting up a fight? He's called for a meeting of his loyal MLAs at his residence at 2 p.m. ahead of that CLP meeting, which he didn't call for, at 5 p.m. So what is expected? It appears that he's not going down without a fight.
Well, Pallavi, we'll have to see, wait and watch as to how many MLAs do turn up at his residence. That is the big question as to how many MLAs are still with him. If you see earlier on when the state unit president was changed, all the MLAs had rallied behind Navjot Singh Sidhu because that was the wish of the party high command. So clearly, how many MLAs Captain Amarinder Singh is able to hold on to with himself is the big question right now. You can see already messages floating and on the social media that out of 79 MLAs want a CM face change. So clearly, Captain Amarinder Singh has a big task ahead, daunting task rather, because if you see the consultations which took place a couple of months ago here in Delhi, when 3-member committee was taking feedback from the MLAs and the ministers, majority of them had said that if Captain Amarinder Singh remains the chief minister of the state, the Congress party is not going to do well. So that is the reason why the Congress party thought that a change in party organization will help arrest the downfall of the party in the state. But that perhaps didn't help because Captain Amarinder Singh camp went after all those dissenting MLAs, and a witch hunt followed, which led to further dissension within the Congress party in Punjab.
Right. Anand, in your experience, because you cover the Congress party, you have, of course, ground experience from the state of Punjab as well. Do you think that Captain's position right now, as we speak today, has become untenable?
Well, untenable it will be a far-fetched word. We can say that Captain Amarinder Singh doesn't enjoy the same clout he used to enjoy back in 2017 when he had led the party to a mammoth victory in the assembly polls, defeating the Akalis who were ruling for the past 10 years, and also a rising Aam Aadmi party in the state. He pulled off a victory against all the odds, and that is the reason why his stature grew in the party, within the party, and there was a talk at a time to make him the Congress party president as well when there was a crisis after 2019 polls. But that is not the same situation right now, especially after 4.5 years of anti-incumbency, and Captain Amarinder Singh government is completely, you can say, failed to deliver on the aspirations of the people and the promises which the Congress party had made in the run-up to the 2017 polls, be it, bringing the Bargadi sacrilege issue, very important issue as far as the Sikh politics is concerned in Punjab, to a logical conclusion. He had taken an oath on the Guru Granth Sahib Gutka to wipe out drug menace from the state. All these promises, also the mining mafia, the transport mafia, allegedly working at the behest of the Badal regime. So nothing concrete moved on as far as Captain Amarinder Singh government is concerned over the past 4.5 years, and that has led to a lot of dissension within the Congress party rank and file, and also among the ground workers, which has weakened Captain Amarinder Singh over the years, and that is the reason why we see a number of MLAs.
Absolutely. Anand, stay on with us. We're getting more information on this developing political story. The latest which is coming in on that CLP meeting, the Congress Legislative Party meeting, which is to happen in Chandigarh at 5 p.m. The MLAs meet will in fact happen, and the Sidhu camp is expected to bring in a no confidence motion and seek voting to push, in fact, Sidhu or Sunil Jakhar as leader of the Legislative Party. In fact, they want to remove Captain Amarinder Singh. Captain Amarinder Singh's camp, though, will try to get the support of at least 60 out of the 80 Congress MLAs in the state of Punjab. So heated exchange expected at this CLP meeting, which is to happen in Chandigarh at 5 p.m. today. That's exactly what Anand was in fact telling us. So Anand, what we are learning right now from the ground in Chandigarh is that the Sidhu camp is likely to push for some sort of resolution to remove Captain Amarinder Singh as leader of the Legislative Party and in fact install, possibly have a voting of sorts among the MLAs to install either Navjot Singh Sidhu or Sunil Jakhar as the leader of the Legislative Party?
This is what we've been saying, that Sunil Jakhar has emerged as the front runner to replace Captain Amarinder Singh in the intermediate period when the elections are held in the state next year. Remember, Sunil Jakhar was axed as the state unit chief very recently and was replaced with Navjot Singh Sidhu. But he continues to enjoy the favor of the party high command, particularly Rahul Gandhi, because see, even after being removed as the state PCC chief, we didn't hear a word of discontent from Sunil Jakhar. He's a old loyalist of the Gandhi family, comes from the family of the Jakhars. Balram Jakhar, his father, was very close to Indira Gandhi and Rajiv Gandhi as well. So clearly, what we are picking up is Sunil Jakhar is the front runner as far as replacing captain is concerned. But yes, once this CLP meeting takes place, it remains to be seen as to what is the word these central observers and the party affairs in charge for Punjab, Harish Rawat, are carrying from the centre to this CLP meeting. What is the kind of instructions, directions which they will put before the CLP MLAs in the CLP? And that will be what will be watched out for.
Absolutely. We'll be keeping an eye on those developments in Punjab. So what we're hearing from Punjab right now is, one, Captain Amarinder Singh has in fact called for a meeting of his loyal MLAs from the state of Punjab at 2 p.m. There will be a Congress Legislative Party meeting at 5 p.m. at the party headquarters, which has been called at the behest of the AICC. Harish Rawat, in fact, has called for that meeting. Rajdeep Sardesai, our consulting editor, is now joining me on the phone line. Rajdeep, is Captain Amarinder Singh's position now untenable?
Well, I think the best way, Paulomi, and I can only tell you the factual position as of now. What I can confirm is that the captain has been asked to step down by the party high command. Also, the captain's aides are denying that he's been asked to step down. I can confirm that the Congress leadership has asked Captain Amarinder Singh to step down. Captain doesn't seem to be willing to do so. He wants to have a show of strength ahead of the CLP meeting. Now, where that leads the party to a split right down the middle or a smooth transition is anybody's guess. As of now, a smooth transition, Paulomi, looks very, very unlikely because the captain is digging his heels in. He's saying, he's almost daring the Congress leadership to sack him rather than make an announcement at the CLP.
Right, Rajdeep, our colleagues on the ground in Chandigarh are reporting that the captain camp will try to enlist the support of at least 60 out of the 80 Congress MLAs in Punjab at the CLP meeting at 5 p.m. 60 out of 80, you think that's possible?
It is a tough call for us, Paulomi, to suggest 60 out of 80. If you've seen what we've been hearing is that both Captain and Sidhu have about now a core group of loyalists of about 15 to 20 each. It's the floaters who have to decide which way they go. Remember, there's an election in 5 months. Do you go to the election under the official Congress leadership, or does Captain have a plan B? There's been much talk of Captain having a plan B in mind with fresh alignments. And has he taken his supporters into confidence ahead of that plan? My sense is the party is split at the moment right down the middle. And while they may well go with what the High Command says today, who knows what tomorrow brings? Unlike the BJP, where, as we saw in Gujarat, the High Command was able to enforce its writ on the Gujarat leadership. No signs of that here in Punjab. The party split right down the middle at the moment, Paulomi, is all I can say.
Right. Rajdeep Sardesai and Anand Patel, thank you so much for joining us on all of those interesting developments, political developments that are coming in from Punjab at the moment.